I will go ahead and call the meeting to order.
Pledge, Mr. Chairman, Pledge of Allegiance, is that first?
I was going to get a few words out first. Thank you.
Okay, all right. Just a reminder.
This will be the beginning of the Board of Directors meeting, regularly called meeting for Thursday, April 8th at 6 p.m., held via Zoom. All right, moving down. Pledge to the flag. Director Clark, would you like to lead us in our pledge to the flag?
Absolutely.
All right.
Okay. I pledge allegiance
to the flag
Flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible,
with
liberty and justice for all. All right then. Metro Cable announcement. The open session meeting is videotaped for cablecast on Metro Cable 14, replay on Monday, April 12 at 6 p.m. and Thursday, April 15th at 9 a.m. on channel 14, webcast at www.sacmetrocable.tv. This is a public opportunity to discuss matters of public interest within the district's jurisdiction, including items on or not on the agenda. Do we have any speakers?
I didn't have any speakers email beforehand. However, Art, if you could unmute all attendees and give them a chance to speak if they so wish.
Yes, attendees, you now have the ability to unmute yourself. If there's anything you'd like to present to the board, please do so now.
Seeing none, we will proceed. Moving on to the consent items. Anybody care to make a motion?
I'll move the consent, Mr. President.
I'll second.
We've got a motion from Director Wood and a second from Director Sheets on the consent calendar. Any questions from the board? Seeing no questions, Madam Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Yes, Director Gould.
Aye.
Orzali.
Aye.
Wood.
Aye.
Sheets.
Aye.
Jones.
Aye.
White.
Aye.
Clark.
Aye.
Director Sailors is absent this evening, and Director Kelly.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Thank you. Do we know if Mr. Scheit has directed us yet or joined us yet?
He has not joined us in closed session. I can keep an eye on things and let you know when he does.
All right, then at this time, folks, I imagine you all looked at the agenda. We've got a few matters to just deal with tonight. We will go ahead and do our reports. If you would like to, well, I have nothing to report as president. Chief Harms, would you please provide your report?
Thank you, President Kelly and directors. Thank you for being here tonight. The first thing on my report is last Saturday, we had on April 3rd, our goodbye to engineer Kyle Rutherford. It was, I thought, just a great service up in Grass Valley, supported Sheena and all of the family. I think as a fire chief, I'm just very proud of, our organization and for everybody to be able to pull together and really focus on the service, the family, the support that is needed across the board. The other support that came from the Honor Guard and really orchestrating that service was incredible. And then just all the other cities and stuff and departments around us that helped cover Metro, so that when we were up there, we could send up multiple companies and multiple members. So again, a great service and thank you. I know that everybody wanted to attend. A few of you were able to attend. Thank you for being there. Meetings over the past 2 weeks, myself, Director Kelly and Director Wood had a Station 68 groundbreaking ceremony that was on the 26th. On the 29th, ourselves, along with Sac City, met. We do a monthly meeting where the fire chiefs and the deputies meet and just discuss really just current events that are happening across the area. Yesterday, myself and Chief Casantini attended a service for Dick Shannon. He was a retired engineer and father of retired Deputy Chief Brian Shannon. We also that was the day before on the 6th. Yesterday, Chief Casantini and I met with Ken Campo. Some of you will remember that name, as Ken was the temporary CFO before we hired Amanda. We've worked with Ken to put together a contract for him to come in and work with the district while we search for a new CFO with Amanda leaving. We have hired Terry Black and Associates, and they will do a national search. We had our initial meeting with them this morning to set up the process and start moving forward. As we all know, those shoes are going to be very difficult to fill. Having Ken on board gives us some time over the next 6 months to make sure that we find the right person to be able to come in and fill those shoes. That ends my report for today. I think Chief Mitchell is now here for the operations side of it.
Chief Mitchell, please proceed.
Thank you, Chief Harms, President Kelly, directors. Good evening to everybody. A few items for you tonight. First, I'll start off with some training. This week on April 6th, we concluded our live fire training exercise we had over off Phoenix Avenue in Fair Oaks. Very successful. We appreciate the donation from the members of the public for us to be able to perform a couple of weeks of search drills and things like that, and ended up getting some very good real world training for some of our newer members and experienced members over there. So that was another positive. On ambulance coverage, we're reaching a staffing level shortage in the SRP program that will require us to develop a plan. We're going to be browning out one of the 4 SRP 24-hour ambulances, and replacing that with putting in service a fire department ambulance staffed with firefighters on overtime. We're currently working with labor to develop that plan, and we'll be finalizing those details with an expected implementation date on or about May 1st. So we'll be moving in that direction. Since our last meeting, we've had 3,785 total calls. That's another increase again. That's the 3rd meeting in a row we've spoken where we've had increase. So it continues to get busier out there. Our crews have responded to 16 structure building fires, and 6 of those were inside of our district. Busiest engine company and busiest medic stay the same this time, with engine 53 and medic 224. And then finally tonight, I wanted to brief you on an incident we had earlier this afternoon. We had an apartment fire that was dispatched at about 2:45 this afternoon near Station 21 up in the Citrus Heights area. On arrival, crews found one of our off-duty firefighters in civilian clothes who happened to be driving by, engaging in performing some search and evacuations of some of the apartments. Really, the result of the incident was no civilian injuries, which is great news. It's currently under investigation, but I think this goes to show that whether on or off duty, a firefighter is always a firefighter, and I greatly appreciate this member stepping up. He exemplifies our commitment to our community to protect life at all costs. So I'd like to throw a big thank you out. You'll probably recognize this last name, and I have worked with this firefighter prior to when I worked at Station 50. I was a captain there with this firefighter on both the engine and the truck company. I'd like to say a big thank you to firefighter Derek Sheets for being there as part of that incident this afternoon and doing what he did. So with that, if there's any questions, I'll be happy to answer them. I'll end my report.
Thank you for your time, or thank you for your report, Chief. Okay. Well, you showed up just where you needed to be. Thank you, Mr. McGoldrick. You'd be next. Firefighters Local 522 report.
Good evening, President Kelly, Board of Directors. I just want to second what Chief Harms has already stated. There were many hands and many thanks due for everybody involved in the service last Saturday. It went off without a hitch. It's tough to achieve perfection, but I think that was pretty close. And we have a lot of people to be thankful for. That's all I have. End of report.
Thank you for your report, Mr. McGoldrick. Moving on to committee and delegate reports. Nothing from the executive committee. Moving on to the communication center, JPA. Deputy Chief Wagaman.
Good evening, President Kelly and directors. The dispatch board has not met since our last meeting. We are scheduled to meet the next Tuesday, 9 o'clock, Metro Board Chambers. And with that, I'll have a report ready for you at your next scheduled board meeting in a report.
Okay, thank you, sir. Chief Harms, would you handle the California Fire and Rescue Training JPA, please?
Well, we have not met, and our next meeting is on April 15th at 4 p.m.
All right, then. Anybody got Bruce Scheidt's phone number?
I sent him a text.
Thank you. All right, moving on to the Finance and Audit Committee. Director Orzali.
Yes, the Finance and Audit Committee has not met. Our next meeting is scheduled for the 22nd of April at 5:30 p.m.
All right, thank you for your report. Moving on to the Policy Committee. Director Gould.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The Policy Committee met this evening and reviewed the revised edition of the policy related to reserves. The Policy Committee took a vote unanimous to move it to the full board for approval.
Okay, thank you for that report. We will move on to board member questions and comments. Take your time.
I think that
Bruce Scheid has joined
if you
us
want to
in
go
closed
to it.
session.
He has joined us. All right,
Yes.
then why don't we go ahead and move into closed session and we'll come back for board member comments. Everybody have the link to do that. We'll see you in closed session then. Great. Mr. Lawver, would you like to join us?
Yes.
Excuse me. Would you like to go ahead and report out, please?
Yes, both. Yes, the board of directors met in closed session pursuant to Government Code Section 54956.9 D1 to discuss the litigation set forth in the closed session agenda. No reportable action was taken. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Lawver. Board members, questions and comments. All right, let's go ahead and we'll start with Director Gould.
Mr. Chair, I have no comments.
Thank you, sir. Moving on to Director Orzali.
Thank you, Mr. President. Only one comment, that the service that was held for our lost firefighter was extraordinarily well done. And this organization should be very proud of the way that that was handled. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Moving on to Director Wood.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I would just echo the comments from Director Orzali. I also want to thank you and everyone else who came out, was able to come out for the Station 68 groundbreaking, and do want to extend condolences to Chief Shannon, and congratulations to Derek Sheets. Appreciate that update, Chief Mitchell. That was good to hear. So thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Director White.
Thank you, Mr. President. I just want to thank everyone involved in the Rutherford service and making it meaningful. I also want to commend firefighter or Captain Sheets, I believe, these days, that on his actions today, and also I just want to understand we had a firefighter who was injured, and I want to wish them a speedy recovery. Thank you.
Director Jones.
Thank you. Again, to echo the acknowledgements for, well, in memoriam for retired Deputy Chief Shannon's father, again, for the Rutherford family, and a thanks to the folks in our organization who made this last weekend an important remembrance time for that family, as well as to Captain Sheets. Way to go. I have a couple quick items in regards to our Sacramento County Lafco. Our longtime executive officer, Don Lockhart, will be retiring this summer. And as of earlier this week, we do have postings out, application out, and job posting for his replacement. That's both can be either internal with the county and or external. We have, like I said, postings out with CSDA, CSAC, League of Cities, etc. So that's a long-term, several months process here, but that's started now. And also we had our Special District Advisory Committee for Sacramento County Lafco, and everyone shared their experiences, some successes actually with during this year of COVID, as well as a political awareness push to lobby the state of California to include special districts in disbursement of stimulus and COVID relief monies. And acknowledgement to our senior staff who have been working with CSDA quite closely with those organizations to equitably distribute these funds. That's all. Thank you.
You're welcome. Director Clark.
No comments, Mr. Chairman.
All right, I got everybody else, it looks like. I would say that I appreciated being able to participate in the Station 68 groundbreaking. Thank you for those members of our district that kept me from folding like a cheap suit. And that's all I've got. Attaboy to Captain Sheets. And I'm glad to hear that the funeral for Director Rutherford, or excuse me, for Captain Rutherford or Engineer Rutherford was well attended and something for the district to be proud of. At this time, I will call the meeting adjourned unless anybody has any reason not to. Seeing none, at this time we will be adjourned. Everybody have a good evening. Thank you.